3, 2, 1. Boom. And we are back with another episode of Socratic Gamers. This is take 2, as we kind of messed up on audio yesterday, but that's all good. It just gave us time to re-examine things, think of new topics. Not really topics, think of new associated things to talk about with this one topic.
Right.
And yeah, so we're just going to kick it off just like last time. Congratulations to the Raptors for winning the NBA Finals. Never thought that would ever happen in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that the four people who got hurt, they got a shot or something? Was it a shooting or stabbing? You said it was stabbing, right?
There were 2 things that happened, yeah.
Okay. Well, hopefully those people are okay. It's quite sad that that happened, but mob mentality. Or not even mob mentality. It's just anonymity because you're in a big crowd.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we are, to preface this and kick this off, we're not actually basketball fans. We mentioned that last time, but I think it's important to state that not everyone is a Raptor fan. Well, a basketball fan.
Basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I guess because we live here, I would say that that would be the team I'd be rooting for.
Yeah.
If I were to pick any team.
Right.
But yeah. So I ended up watching the game. Not really for bandwagon reasons, just the fact that it was on. My family had it on. They're huge. Not really huge. Oh, all right. I'm not even going to say they're huge. They're just fans of the fact that Raptors made it to the end.
Yeah, I mean, you can get excited about some things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
But Vish, you didn't watch it.
No, I kind of, I thought it was just going to be, game 6, they might win. I kind of forgot that they were playing. So
right.
I was cooking something, and then I realized, oh, yeah, the game.
Yeah.
And I caught a little bit of it at the end, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like when Conor McGregor fought. Well, every time he fights. Well, no, I'm a big fan of it, but it's just one of those spectacles that you just got to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not so much anymore, because Conor McGregor, he kind of fell off a bit. You're still awesome. I love you. Just in case you one day hear this and you're like, you said I fell off, bro. No, you're still awesome. But yeah, in the beginning it was the hype train was real. So
right.
So I kind of felt that's what this Raptors thing was like. It was a monumental thing. I guess maybe not even just for Canadians. You know what I'm saying? The Raptors when it was I feel a lot of people were watching it because it was such an underdog story. You never thought they would win against the Warriors.
Yeah. That's true.
Most people,
Actually,
saying?
Yeah. I mean, I remember throughout the series, they would generally, what do you call those people that would pick who they think would win?
Oh, betting or something?
Yeah, but they're not necessarily just on one of those, on the TV at least, right?
Okay, yeah.
Oh, this guy says, Raptors will win or lose in 4 games or 6 games or something like that, right?
Oh, really? Eh?
So this one guy had Raptors losing in the this is before the final one, right? Not against Golden State,
okay.
Against Milwaukee, I think it was the series before this.
Uh-huh.
And he said that Milwaukee would win, but then Raptors ended up winning. So he was wrong on that.
Oh,
and then in this one, he chose Raptors to beat
Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors.
Oh, okay.
So they were oh no, is this another curse? They're gonna.
Oh
lose.
yeah, true.
All those kind of things are added on, which is kind of especially in sports. There's a lot of those curse thinking, right?
Yeah, that's so true. You know what's funny about that? My sister was she's oh, I didn't want to watch Game 5. No, she's they're did you watch Game 5? And she's no. And then why not? Because in Game 4 I watched and they lost, so I think I'm bad luck. And I'm what? Yeah, I said to her, I was yeah, you really influenced that team, bro.
Right. No, I mean it was the same thing when I think it was Game 5 I watched, or 4, and then they lost.
Uh-huh.
I was at my parents' house, and then my brother's you shouldn't come here to watch next time.
That's so funny. See what I'm saying? It's so weird that
but as a joke, though, it was more a joke.
Okay.
But to use that same, it's the same kind of using that mentality that is pretty prevalent in sports.
It makes sense. It makes sense for certain NBA players, they have like rituals. They have like superstitions.
Yeah.
Right. It makes sense for them because I think what they're really tapping into is like a flow state. Right. They want to get their mind into like a specific like sphere.
Right.
But like in terms of externalities, like you are so far removed from having anything to do with the Raptors that like it's like you're not going to influence this decision at all. Like it's all them, you know.
Right.
I find that interesting. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, one of the weirdest things too, like I know, we talked about a few things. I'm gonna try and bring them up again, but like, burgeoning, like basking in the reflected glory, like it's interesting that that's another thing that people often do. Like they'll have like superstitions. You know, they're like they feel like they're so connected to the winning and losing of this team that like even things like burgeoning is a great example of like their connectedness. You know, like first they think that like, oh, my actions will actually like influence the team. Right. They won't really. But then the next thing is like when you're like, oh, we won, or like we did it. But it's like it's not like really a we thing. Right. It's like it's like a they thing, you know? Mm-hmm. It's funny because like I even like trolled Wob. So the biggest Raptors fan knows like Wob because he's like been a Raptors fan since we were little kids. Even every year he would always root for them. Yeah. You know? I kind of feel like anybody who rooted for another team is not really a Raptors fan. Right. You know, you're not like a day one person. You're just like you're a hype trainer. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like damn, I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? Raptors
Burgeoning?
No. Oh yeah, burgeoning. So I tried to troll Wob. So I was like oh, congrats. I was like, I watched the game and then I texted him. I was like, congratulations, man. Like, you did it. Right. And he's like, no, they did it. And I was like, yeah, it's the Wob I know. Like, very, like, sentient over that kind of stuff. He didn't say we. I don't think he said we. But yeah, he was just like, it was just funny to see, like, but, you know, people would have quickly turned that into, like, an I thing, but it's really not an I thing. It's like a they thing. Yeah. You know? Oh, yeah. Like, speaking of which, the celebrations, like, is a good segue into it, but, like, the association with how people celebrated that event was so, I don't want to say, like, well, all right, so there's multiple, like, different segments of people who would have celebrated that. There's, like I said last time, there's the people that are just like interested in seeing what the celebration will be like. Right. There's true fans. There's people that are like hiding with anonymity. Okay. And then they're like bandwagoners. Yeah. You know? And it's just like it's interesting to see how like people reacted as a whole, collectively. You know, it's like a crowd mob mentality for that one. Because like you saw on Instagram, like it was just like nonstop like chaos, you know, even though the police chief or whatever, he was saying that like, oh, it was a great celebration. There's no broken stuff or like stolen stuff, but it's like, no, there was on social media, they were like breaking cars and they were climbing onto stuff, you know, but it's like, it was such like chimp-ish, you know, like right. It was so like, it was almost like if there was like a zombie apocalypse, that's what would have happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have just, like, went buck wild. Right. You know? Yeah. Like, did you, what did you think, like, you scouring through social media and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it's not something I would get into. Like, I don't know, I don't see the point of joining in on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right?
It's, I guess, I mean, you know, when you're in a crowd like that, it's like you feel you're kind of like hidden kind of thing, so you can
diffusion of responsibility, anonymity, you know. So that's also what I felt too, because it's like how many of those people were like true fans, and how many of like the segments you talked about, right? Like there's like people that are looking for anonymity, there are people that are curious, people that are like chaos, you know. It's like where did you fall in the spectrum, right? And I thought that was a little like, I guess maybe they're going off because like it's never happened before.
Probably, yeah. I mean, But there's always going to be people like just disturbers, just want to do stuff for
the jokers of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. But like you were saying how like in Vancouver when the hockey team lost, like people took to the streets and they went crazy as well.
Yeah, I would think that was a bit more worse off because if we won, it was a little bit better. And I think also, like we also had a less crowd in a sense, because the game was not here. Right.
True, yeah, because that would have been the full stadium plus the people in Raptors Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
True, actually, I didn't even think about that. But, like, I ultimately felt bad for the people that weren't Raptors fans, that they were just trying to go home. You know, because it's like, if you had, like, a night shift, and then it's like, oh, man, I got to drudge through that. You know, people are going off.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just how it is. I don't know what else can you do, I guess, about that.
Yeah, true. What I think is like more funny about the whole thing is that like they're just like props in the stage of selling. You know,
of course, like, yeah. I mean, the whole thing is
it like always comes down to like the sale. So even though it's like we like associate so heavily with these teams and stuff, it's like, you know, it's sort of like, I guess it would be akin to being like a part of like the army in like the 300 days, even now too, but like just being a part of something and it's like, oh yeah, we're fighting for freedom. It's like, not really, you're fighting for commerce.
Right.
You know, it's or like, oh, like our team won, but it's like, how many of you ran to the store afterwards and like bought something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, even in doing that, it's like.
Sometimes it's, I guess there is some pride and stuff in there. And so like
but pride's a great selling mechanism.
You know
what I mean? Like
no, I mean like yes, now it has become very lucrative, very like money driven, right?
Yeah.
But it, like in some ways sports can also help a country out in in need sometimes, right? Kind of bring attention to certain things and
bring people together. Yeah. But you know what's funny about that though? All right, so interestingly enough, if you actually look in, so like a good example is like Brazil.
Yeah.
Right. So I remember the example before was like Afghanistan had no team.
Yeah. It was this guy.
So Afghanistan didn't have a team, but now they have a team. So that's great. Like,
cricket team. Yeah.
Cricket team. but like, it's sure on that level, it's like it's good, but we don't actually know the ramifications because that's still just like the superficial level. So a good example is when the Olympics went to Brazil, and then what Brazil started to do is they started to kick out all the people and push them into the favelas. Yeah, right. Yeah. And then you actually saw a lot of like hate for the Olympics because it would actually create even more of a divide.
Right.
Because they were just pushing all those people out. The poor people up into the favelas, and they're like, dude, what the hell? Like, this is our land. But it's like, no, we got to get ready for the Olympic Games. And then they leave, and then it's like you're just kind of left with, like...
Yeah, I mean, those are some certain practices that are, of course, that many people had problems with them, how they dealt with it, I guess. Yeah.
It's almost like with all Olympics, too, though, because I remember in Athens, not even just in Athens, but in Vermont, too. Vermont had the Olympics.
I mean, in the U.S. somewhere? Like Atlanta?
I think no. Like it was Vermont. I'm pretty sure like Winter Olympics because I saw it, and I also saw the one in Athens too. But like these are just like empty stadiums now. It's like, well, what do we do with it? You know what I mean? So, like the one in China, how they were saying like they just like left it. And it's like a artifact now, and like it's like dilapidated. You kind of like go in, and then you like you convert things, and then you just leave it. But it's like you don't think about the post ramifications of like.
I think they do. It's just
they just don't care.
No. But maybe it just doesn't work out as what they hoped it was going to be.
Oh, because the altruism was like, oh yeah, we're actually going to bring things together.
No, I mean like we have one that's near our place, the big big pool, the swimming pool that's there.
Oh, in Morningside.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But it's being used,
that
right?
Converted. Yeah.
Not converted. That's now being used for.
No, but it was converted into like a gym, right?
No, it was built.
It got taken on by. No, yeah, it was built for the Olympics. Though.
Yeah, or it wasn't Olympics, but whatever it was like one of those kinds of Olympic things, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Pan Am Games, I think.
Pan Am Games, yeah. It was built for the Pan Am Games, and now it's like the Pan Am Center, and then like
Yeah, but that's technically what would generally happen with those sort of things.
Like converted?
Yeah, it would be then used for the general public. Yeah,
I guess. But that's like a best case scenario, you know.
No,
but then there's also the worst case scenario.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're like, maybe it will drive commerce after the fact because what built this. Yeah. True. Actually, you know, like that's one of the big benefits of sports is like it's a great way to generate economic activity. Mm-hmm. You know, because like think about all of the subsidiary products that are associated with sports. It's like, yeah, we're looking at it like a basketball game, but it's like, yeah, but you got jerseys you could sell, you got basketball balls you can sell, hoops now. Everyone wants to like start getting into basketball again. You know, coaches
it does bring that.
You know, it's like
yeah.
It's sort of like a way to like herd the masses again. You know, and like, but basketball was like, you know that there was something. It was like in Mexico or something. It was something similar to basketball, but they would like they throw it through the hoop, but it dealt with like death.
Yeah. That's they had the Mayans were doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Mayans. Yeah. So like this is like not new to us.
I've been to those I've been to that.
Oh, you saw it. I
saw the arena.
Yeah. So like these kinds of things are like not new to our species.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but especially when I went to Rome and I saw like the Colosseum, that was so interesting.
Yeah, that's the epitome of it all, right?
Totally, and it was like so fascinating because like when you went to like old Rome, like so there's like New Rome, and then there's like the I forget what it was called. It was like it was like I forget what it was called. But it was like the downtown core of Rome before, and like it was right next to the Colosseum. So like that place was like for merchants and like businesses and stuff. Yeah. And then it was like the downtown core. Think of it like the downtown core. And then at the end, when an event was coming, they would just like have everyone walk over to the event and they'd all like watch. And tickets were free, you know? And it was interesting because it's like when I saw that, it made me think of like Toronto and how we have the Sky Dome, which is basically the Coliseum. And then people live around there. You know, it's in the downtown hub, and then people just walk to the games, and then it's like we're just reliving the same human tendencies as before. Yeah. You know?
That's true. I mean, yeah, we keep repeating the same thing, basically.
Yeah, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just like repackaged and repurposed. Yeah. You know? Which is like interesting. So the thing that like I'm always like pessimistic but also optimistic. You know, like my pessimism side comes out where it's like, well, it's just a great way to control the masses and like sell products and like get the rich richer and the poor like not sure what's going on. Okay. You know, the uneducated are just not. They're just me on the superficial level. Okay. But then like on the positive side, it's like okay, like maybe they are just like bringing people together and like togetherness and like, you know what I mean? It's sort of like Star Wars when like the Force is just there, but like you have the good like the Jedi and the Sith. Right. So it's like perception is always there, but it's like how do you want to hijack perception? Do you want to hijack it for like altruism or like greed? Right. You know? Yeah. Because like what's his name? Not Constantine, Julius Caesar. Yeah. Give them bread and games and they won't revolt. So that's what he did. He gave them like free food and like free tickets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is not free food though.
This is not free food or free tickets, but I mean, like it's like similar idea.
It's a similar idea, but I think there must be something in it that, you know, that wants all of us, like many of us, to be part of that or keep going to these sort of things, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, yeah.
Something in us that we like these kinds of games.
Collectivism. We're like a collective species. Yeah. So we feel like we need to... I guess that's like at the basis of all merging anyways. Because it's like in saying we, it's like you feel part of something. So if you feel alienated in your regular life, like you can at least associate with something. Like if you... Like, let's say you have no friends. Buy a Raptors jersey, walk down the street, people are going to high-five you. Yeah. You know? So it's like... It's a quick way to like... gain some sort of acceptance, right? You know, but what I also find fascinating is like the similarities and the parallels between like what's happening in Hong Kong and like them fighting for their freedom, and like our happiness towards the game, like the same chaos is manifesting, right? You know what I mean? Like people are taken to the streets, but like it almost says like as a species, either as a species or as like West versus East, but like we care just as much as we do about entertainment as we do about like civil liberties.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It's kind of weird.
I mean, it's...
Or alternately, it's like the West cares more about entertainment than civil liberties because like we win a basketball game, we're all taking the streets, but we get messed up on like our rights and like nobody cares.
I mean, there are...
But like, when have you seen people taking the streets as much as the Raptors winning?
When they're protesting? There has been.
As much as the Raptors winning? Like, fully...
Yeah, I think there are more protests than...
in Canada, I mean.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like name one.
It's not going to get covered, though. A lot of things don't get covered.
I don't think it's like... That's more like an American thing. You know, like when they had Occupy Wall Street, they just stopped covering it, and then people forgot about it. But people were still at the Occupy Wall Street. Yeah. But I don't think I think that's more of a American tactic than a Canadian tactic.
No, I'm saying that there are people that do it on certain things. You just got to keep looking at the news. You'll see it.
True, I guess. But like in relation to like how Hong Kong reacted towards their civil liberties.
Yeah. So I think if there's anything that's significant, it would cause that here too.
Maybe.
I think so.
Like,
if it actually does affect people, yeah.
Like,
it depends on what it is. I don't know what it has to be specific to whatever the topic is, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it could just be East versus West mindset. You know? Like,
what do you mean?
Because, all right, so like remember when the flooding happened, and then they were showing like the parallels between that place in New Orleans, and there was like all that robbing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at like Japan, when the earthquake happened, they were like in a lineup waiting for their meal. You know, and there was like just a great parallel between like East versus West mentality.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say that's just more Japan than most countries.
True. So you're saying that like if you go to other Asian countries, they might have...
Yeah, they could, yeah. Why not?
Maybe. But again, there's no example.
That's what I'm saying.
This was right.
But you can't say it's all of East from one example. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but like what... It's like you're taking two salient examples from both sides. It's like it happened... Two catastrophes happened, one in East, one in West. And it's like... These are the examples we're given. So sure, you could not have it that way, but it's like, given the data that we have at our hand, this is what it's making itself out to be.
Well, we don't have enough data.
True. So you're saying we should do like an unbreakable kind of thing and like start like some chaos?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not really.
You heard it here first, folks. No, but like, you ever see that movie?
Which
when
one?
he was like looking for the unbreakable dude, so he started like creating.
Oh, right, yeah. True. Well, I'm not saying that, but.
Well, and speaking of like commerce, one of the more interesting things that I found was like Drake's OVO.
Oh, did you listen to it?
No, I didn't listen to it. No. See, it's like, because I'm not into it. Like, if it was like, oh, really Drake's new single is out, I'd be like, all right, that's cool. But it's like, oh, he dropped this because the Raptors won. I'm like, If it's like, if it has an agenda, I'm not really into it.
Right.
But if it's just like a dope song, it's like, yeah, I'll check that dope song out.
I mean, it's a history in the making too, I guess. So people want to be part of that. That's why they went to the parade and things. So.
For sure. One thing that I found like interesting was like, if you look at the Raptors training facility, like the OVO symbols outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, that's the most genius branding ever.
Yeah.
You know, you could take part of both audiences at that point. You get like the non-Raptors fans, but are like Drake fans.
And that's true. That's true.
You know, and then you have like the non-Drake fans, but the Raptors fans, and they're like, they're like associated.
Right.
You know.
I mean, it was a great move on both, I guess. So.
And one interesting thing about like symbols versus like an artist. So if you had like Drake's face on there, you have more of a chance that like people will like hate on it, but because it's like an idea, like it's the OVO symbol, it's like more people can be a part of it.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because like if you're looking at the artists themselves, it's like, oh, I just don't like their music. But if it's like OVO, it's like, well, I'll rock that little symbol on my clothes. Because you know what I mean? It's like, it's more innocuous. Like branding,
right?
Brand logos have like less. They're more like neutral. You know, so I just think it was a genius like strategic marketing move on his part.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, going from like Degrassi rapping on his own, getting signed with Lil Wayne, creating his own clothing line, making that clothing line huge by like linking it to the Raptors. Because I think like some Raptors apparel has the OVO symbol. I saw like those like champion hats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it has like the OVO.
So maybe
symbol
like they made like also like a deal of who would make those things too. So it's like they're using his.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And funny enough is like if you were on those like backroom deals, not that we're part of them, but like if you've been a part of any business like discussion, it's always about like how do we maximize this? So it's like we'll put your logo on the outside as long as you can provide like a significant return.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But like on the superficial level, you're looking at it, you're like, oh, he's such a huge like Raptors fan. But it's like, no, this was actually a strategic move on both our parts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. True. Yeah. I guess I don't know what else to say to that, but other than the fact that happens a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Just gotta be aware of that, I guess, or I mean.
But like again, it's like
why
it's like does everyone need to get?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's that Zen line that I read from that book, the 3 pillars of Zen or 4 pillars of Zen, something like that. It's like the most deluded person is the bodhisattva, because true saving is realizing no one needs to be saved. But the bodhisattva's whole mission is like prove to everyone that they can be saved.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like, no, they're the most deluded, because like who needs saving? It's like you're either going to save yourself or you're not. You know?
Okay.
The tools are there. But it's like in that, it's like what level are you at on the pole of knowledge? So it's like, do you want to take it superficially and be like, oh, cool, like Raptors and OVO?
Right.
Or like look more into it and like realize that it's all a sell.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but then it's like it's that, and you're enjoying the game, I guess. I mean.
No, right. Totally.
It's all that, right? It's all part of it.
I see what you're saying. It's like. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's not like it's all part and parcel.
Yeah.
It's not like individual, but I guess. But does that jade your experience knowing that it's a sell?
I don't think it would. I mean, you're enjoying the game too, right? You don't have to buy those things.
But a lot of people do.
Yeah, so those are the ones who want to buy those things, right?
Yeah,
you have
true.
the choice to buy those things or not to buy those things.
True, yeah. But then the people that don't know that it's a sell,
right,
and they're just being like unwittingly herded into like the purchasing machine.
But that's them making a choice of purchasing something.
No, but unwittingly, I mean. So it's like they don't actually know it's a sell. They're just being herded. They're like purchasing it.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, we struck gold. We like hijacked your human reward system and like your burgeoningness, and like now you're going to buy like 20 of our jerseys, you know? I almost feel like education, like would we have a better world if we like educated everyone on like the perils of marketing?
I don't know.
Or we just have more like a freaking difficult world with horrible economics, because we're like, oh damn, I can't sell anything out here. You know what I mean? Like if you like understood.
I don't know. I mean, that's just how I always assumed that's how people always thought, because this is how I grew up thinking.
But see, that's the funny part. It's like,
but I guess
you're
I
like,
was wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I grew up thinking this way. Like the reason why I'm so obsessed with marketing is because I'm so like susceptible to marketing.
Right.
I'm like a sucker for anything that's really cool marketing. Like I just want to give my money to it. You know, like I bought that $60 red bracelet because it's like Leonardo DiCaprio wore this. I'm like, what? But I knew it was marketing. Like this was like 2 years ago or something. or a year ago.
Right.
And bought it anyways because I was like, that's genius, the fact that you guys did it.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't see the issue if people want to do that. Or, you know, you might still get some enjoyment out of it, even if you're buying it and you think that, oh, yeah, you know, I don't know. It could still affect you positively, I guess.
Yeah, true. Like, I mean, that's why I bought it. I was like, man, I look at him like, I got conned into this.
Maybe you shouldn't know about the
what do you mean?
perils of marketing then.
I should not know?
No, I'm just saying in general. Then you'd know, like, oh, you got...
No, I did know I got conned, and I appreciate the fact that I got conned. I was like, I really like it.
But like it. But you're into the whole... You like the marketing thing, right?
Yeah, sure.
So maybe people don't need to know.
Oh, I see. But then it goes back to, like, the unwitting consumer.
Yeah, but they still might be happy at the end.
So then it's all about hurting cats. You know what I'm saying? It's like bread and games, man. Like, Caesar was right. Just give them bread and games.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, like, we are just a species. So it's like,
I mean, it works on everyone. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor.
True, yeah, but yeah, true. I totally agree with you. It's like, what marketing are you going to fall for?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a reason why I'm obsessed with Apple, as you are too. It's like, because we fell for the marketing, and then people are like obsessed with their, you know, Samsungs.
Yeah.
But it's because like they sold a better story.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's like, what story? Like, life is a story you want to tell yourself. So it's like, what story are you going to buy into?
Right.
And then, not only are you going to buy into it, you're going to buy into it with your dollars.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, sure.
It's like, it's sort of like, well, there's like millions of things that we all do that like we purchase to be like associated with something.
Mm-hmm.
Like jerseys is a good example, but like, I don't know, can you think of something where like people buy it solely? Oh, Beats headphones. All headphones are the same.
Yeah.
Essentially, come on, like a real like.
I mean, there's
like minor differences.
No, I mean, I don't know.
That's the thing. That's the thing I love about fashion.
If you're in that field of headphones, yeah, there are minor differences, but there are like really, really good headphones that are much more expensive than.
For sure.
What
no,
they are.
I agree
That's
with
what I'm saying.
I agree with you. Yes, there are.
But in that field of sound with Beats and other things, they're all very much the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that like I love like examining. I always say this in interviews whenever I go for like a job interview, which hasn't been that many, but I always say this. It's like the fashion industry is the industry I look to the most because it's in terms of like learning how to market because it's so volatile. You have to sell a really good story, you know, because at the end of the day, you're just selling fabric.
Yeah.
Your T-shirt, like Supreme, you're selling a shirt with Supreme on it, and it's going for $200.
Yeah.
I think it was like Kanye West's white T-shirt.
Yeah.
He has this brand. It's like white T-shirt. It's like $200. I'm like, bro, nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Right.
You know, and it's like you got to be the best marketer if you're gonna sell like clothes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I guess like what they say, like commodities is very, very difficult to market, like Colgate versus Crest.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like, I don't feel like, because like you're in similar prices, Colgate and Crest. It's all about brand loyalty at that point.
At that point, yeah.
But if you're looking at clothing, if you're looking at like Supreme versus like,
I mean, these are symbols that make. Like,
it's the stories.
It's the story, yeah, and then what you. Like what represents you, right? It's like that's a bit different than those kinds of products. Like, yeah, toothbrushes, a different kind of product that doesn't represent you or anything like that.
Because you're just using it for use's sake. Like I need to brush my teeth, so I'm just gonna go with this.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got like a check mark, and all dentists recommend it.
Right.
You know, so it's like. But I mean, even with toothpaste, like I use it for utility. I always get Sensodyne because it makes your teeth feel like not. I got sensitive teeth, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like.
I mean, like, there are, I
In
guess
terms
so.
of like products,
right?
Products that have like a strong story and identity attached towards it.
Right.
Maybe that's the thing. It's like sports teams are just like clothing. It's like, how are you going to identify with it? Because at the end of the day, that is actually it. We cracked the code in this podcast way better than the first one, just for this one alone. Sports teams are exactly like clothing.
Okay.
You got one team putting the ball into a hoop.
Okay.
Both teams are trying to do it. Which one are you going to self-identify with?
Yeah.
And that's why Burgeoning is so strong.
Yeah.
Because, like, you built up a story in your own head that you were a part of this thing, just like you were a part of, you know, Supreme, or a part of, like, Kanye West's Yeezys, you know? Like, at the end of the day, unless there's, like, a medicinal use, like, shoes are shoes are shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Just like putting a ball in a hoop is putting a ball in a hoop 1,000 times over. But it's like, what story did we capitalize on in order to make you affiliate yourself with our product or team? Or, well, a team is a product, so yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, that was a good one.
Okay.
I like that. That is actually it. No, like, really think about it. Like, because I was like, oh, well, why do people self-identify so hard? It's like, yeah, because you put your entire belief system, your whole self-narrative into this one thing, you know, that anybody can get behind. If, like, let's say, like, buying it's like those MAGA hats.
Yeah.
You know, like, Make America Great.
I want to get one.
Again.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have camps, you know?
Yeah.
You're doing, like, for lack of a better word, team sports. You know, in-group, out-group mentality. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. You either purchased some Beats or you didn't.
Right.
You either have a Samsung or an iPhone.
Right.
You're either Raptors fan or Warriors fan. Which one are you?
Yeah.
Team sports, bro. Right? But at the end of the day, it's like human race.
Yeah.
You know?
At the end of the day, it's all the same.
So, all right, that was a great one to end on, but I just want to throw these two things out there because you didn't hear them yet, and I just want to get your input because I think they're so funny.
Okay.
So, one, the Raptors each got the key to the city. Okay, so I asked my sister, I'm like, all right, what is the purpose of that? And she's like, well, they could just open any business. They could just go into any business they want. I'm like, so you're telling me after hours they could just go into any business that they want? No, that's symbolic. Like, getting the key to the city really grants you nothing.
No, it's just symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. What does it grant you?
Nothing.
You know, all access pass into things that we would have not known about anyways, because you guys are rich. So I'm sure, you know, you could have just bought your way in. Like, what does the key to the city really do, other than symbolism?
Right.
Like, and she's like, it can unlock anything in the city. I'm like, that's not really how it works. Like, you think that there's one key to the city that can unlock every single key?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just I
symbolism.
always viewed it as symbology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if you're not a Raptors fan or you don't even know?
No, symbology and a photo op. That's what that is.
Totally. And marketing. It's all about the sale. And then so like, there's this funny story of like, there's like this shop that's downtown, and then like one of the Raptors came in and like, they bought something, but like none of the shop owners knew who this person was until after. And I'm like, oh, that was actually a Raptor. They're like, what? It's like, oh, now all of a sudden I want to get an autograph from them.
Right.
But it's like you had no idea who they were in the beginning.
Right.
So it's like, dude, they're just a person. It's sort of like when we went to, I always bring this up, but whenever we went to Warped Tour and we just talked to the people like they were people, it's like, oh, what's it like playing in a band and driving around in your car?
Yeah, I never understood that.
You know, it's like all of a sudden I heard that you're celebrity, so now I want your photo. Like,
right.
What?
I never.
Great example. We went to Graham Hancock. Remember they were taking photos and signing things, and then we waited in line. We're like, oh, maybe we should sign something. Maybe we should like do this thing. And then like we got the photo simply because like it was awkward because the guy who was taking the photo, he's like, you guys want a photo, right? We're like, yeah. But like we just walked up, handshake, like you're awesome, bro. And he was like, thanks, man. You know. So like, I never understood that. It's just people.
Right.
Yeah, I like to think of it like especially getting older now that we're like 30, we're in our 30s. It's like they're all just kids. Like Kendrick Lamar is 1 year older than me. A$AP Rocky is my age.
Right.
Cron Gracie's my age. Like all these like quote celebrities unquote, they're all like around my age now and your age too. So it's sort of like we all had the same opportunity. So it's like, why are you special? We were both in kindergarten at the same time. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. Yeah. But when you were a kid, you're like, oh man. Actually, what was that? You have that Tom DeLonge story. This is when you realized it was marketing.
I don't remember.
We went to go see Ava, Angels and Airwaves.
Oh, right.
And then I was such a huge fan. It's like, oh yeah, it's Tom DeLonge. Oh my god, let me take some photos.
Right. So the thing that I
but
noticed,
I was a kid, though,
right. But that was the one thing I noticed right away. I don't know why. I was just, I guess, more, I don't know, what do you call it, observative? But like as soon as after the interview, people were like so hyped and they just wanted to go buy their CD.
It's the same thing that just happened with the Raptors.
Yeah, I'm like,
which is on a mass scale.
I know, but I saw that. I'm like, oh, that's how that works. That's what I thought it meant. Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
And like to us, to him, we were just like props in the play of marketing. It's like when we went to UFC and we were like, oh, there's no glitz and glamour here. We're literally just props.
Well, I mean, I don't even think that they knew. It's just more like they're.
Oh, you don't even think Tom DeLonge knew?
No. I mean, like they don't know exactly how it works. It's the team behind them that's
telling
them.
Exactly. It's the business people.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, okay, I'll do this photo op here. I'll just go to the show here. But it's like, no, like we're actually hurting you. It's sort of like the Black Mirror episode where his like her mom or her aunt was like, you know, using her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah, it's totally what it is. See what I'm saying? Like superficial level. Like I got caught up in it. You know, I like. Yeah.
Right.
It's just fascinating to think about it. It's like, which level do you want to be on? I'm sure if you told me this before, well, you might. Well, but then this is the thing about like, the whole thing about the bodhisattva and like, you know, who's going to be saved? Like nobody actually needs saving. Because if you had told me that at the time, I wouldn't have resisted. I would have been like, oh, true. I just didn't think about it.
I didn't think it was a bad thing.
No. But like, you know, like some people will like listen to this podcast and they'll be like, no, you're so like negative. But it's like, no, it's just like the cell. It's just the cell.
I mean, I guess it only happened because I wasn't necessarily a fan.
Totally,
I was
exactly.
just observing.
But what I'm getting at is like, the whole thing about like, should people know about this stuff? But it's like, you know, if you want to know, you'll know. The information's out there.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
But if you like when you hear it, it's like, how are you going to take it? You know, like the truth is always salty,
right?
But it's like, do you like salt or not? You know. And luckily enough, we both got high blood pressure, so getting sodium.
Yeah.
Anyways, the second thing is June 17th is officially We the North Day.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I don't know what that means.
No, I don't know if we get a day off. But
no, it's not.
We don't? Oh,
no, it's not a...
It's not like Family Day? When they threw that in there, we're like, Family Day? All right, I'll take a day off, whatever.
Yeah, I wanted more of those, but this is not that.
It's funny because like I didn't have like a 9 to 5 before, so I was kind of like, it's basically my regular day.
Right.
What holiday, you know? But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Cool or like, but it's like, where is that really going to affect me?
I mean, it's really not going to affect any of us,
except that we're just going to
post
on social media.
It's like, oh, a year ago today.
20 years ago today. Oh, that's the thing we were saying on the last podcast.
Right.
That was very interesting. It's like, where do you go from here? Just down, you know?
Yeah. And then
perpetually, you could either keep going upward. It's like, how many rings do you want, bro?
Right.
You know? And what was that thing that Wob said? He's like, oh, it's done now.
Well, for him, yeah.
So that's the thing. It's like, good. You've realized it. We can move on. You know? Yeah. It's sort of like when I traveled for that 5 months. It's like, I don't need to do that again. I already did it. You know? It's like, oh, but you could travel for a year. You could backpack for a year. It's like, okay, what's the difference between a year and 5 months, bro? It's like, you're still just on the road for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
But people just keep wanting more and more, you know? But that's basically industry. Like we were saying, like, Netflix makes, what, $2 million a month, sorry?
No, we're assuming
20 million a month?
Probably more, but yeah.
No, like, yeah, probably more. We're assuming it, but like, there's a conservative estimate.
Yeah,
it's
super conservative, I would say. But
anyways, super conservative. So it's like, okay, like, how much more do you need? All right, let's create like a whole. Like, I feel like these companies are just gonna rule the world. They're just gonna have an oligopoly. So like, there's monopolies where it's like you own like a major market share. Right.
Yeah.
So like, monopolies are illegal.
Yeah.
Right. Then that's why governments come in, they break things up. But then you have like an oligopoly, which is like, there is no competitors. You own the entire market.
Yeah.
I remember when I heard that in school, I was like, one, that's a really intense name. And two, it's like, businesses can do that. They can own an entire market share of or something.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
If it's never been done before, it's possible, yeah.
I think it has been done, but there's just like
no. What I meant like if it's a category that nobody's been in.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I feel like these companies are just going to push to that level. It's like, who's going to compete with Netflix? Like what?
There's a lot. I would think they might actually have some real competition.
Oh, really?
Year. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're saying like the Disney Channel or something.
I mean, there are like there's already Prime is out there, and then there's other
there's
ones,
alternatives,
but they're not as big. But like where I can see a potential like actual competition, possibly Apple TV Plus, and I would think Disney Plus, because now Disney's removing all the stuff that's on Netflix, because Netflix makes a ton of money because of the kids channel.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the Disney stuff is going away.
All right, well, okay, so
now we might get some real competition here.
Okay, so I take that back. I think you're gonna have like 4 major companies that run everything, and they're just going to compete.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Until one of them buys out the other one. So like.
But then that's where.
Didn't Coke buy Pepsi?
Yes.
Like that? Coke bought Pepsi, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Or was it the other way around? I don't remember.
So, one of those. So for the longest time it was like Coke versus Pepsi.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, well, Coke owns Pepsi. I feel like that's where it's gonna head, and then we have these like.
I mean, Coke owns a lot of things, or like they own a lot of the brands that are out there, like a lot of the pops that you drink are.
No, totally. So that's so on the consumer level, the superficial level, like the end user level, you have like 20 options, right? And then I think it's called product offering, but it's like you have one main company that creates all these diversified products, and then like a good example, we went to Metro and Tara bought Perrier, and she's like, wait, this is a Coke thing. We were buying it for something. Just disregard that. Nobody drinks Perrier. Like, come on, let's get real. But
yeah, I tasted them. I don't know.
It's gross, right?
Like them.
Yeah. But it was like a mixing ingredient. Anyways.
I got you.
But it's like, if you look on the back, it's Nestle. You look on the back, it's like, it's owned by Nestle.
Yeah.
And it's like, I thought Perrier was, no, but that's on the superficial level. That's their product service offering.
Yeah.
You know, but like, that's what I mean. I think that's what we're going to get in the future with these digital companies.
Yeah.
Right? Like the market's already been saturated for not consumer, but like commodities products, like Colgate, like all the stuff that you see on the shelves.
Yeah, I don't know how you can change that one, but
no, you can't change that one.
Can't,
it's like longevity.
Yeah.
It's like you have the major players like Nestle, Coke, Pepsi. They're all there. But the digital sphere, it's still being built. So I feel like the Nestle, the Coke, and the Pepsi are going to be like Amazon, YouTube, Google. Didn't Google purchase YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, they own YouTube.
Yeah. So Amazon, Google, Netflix, you're going to have these like giant organizations with like subsidiary products. And then if you trace it all the way back, you're going to be like, oh, it's actually owned by this one corporation. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't know where I went. I was like, why did we start talking about business?
I don't know.
But anyways, go Raptors. Hope you guys win the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Consecutively.
Yeah.
# We the North.
Yeah, We the North. Yeah.
Marketing,
I mean, that was a great thing that they took from Game of Thrones.
You know what I was thinking? I thought from the last episode, people would be like, ew, I don't want to associate with We the North anymore.
Right.
I really thought that was going to take a
No, but there was a lot of that.
Sales.
There was a lot of that. Or like this is what, like, they're representing Kauai as John, and it's like, this is how it should have ended.
Funny.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. There you go. Marketing again.
That was free though. That was a free thing that they figured out to use and basically take that idea.
Yeah, because you can't. You can copyright only in a specific.
No. I know.
So it's like a different industry, so you could steal it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that's again as great marketing from the Raptors. Maybe the real genius here isn't.
I mean, I like that a lot when they were saying that. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense in their marketing.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think the real genius here isn't really like the team or like all these other things. Remember, like, OVO made a great choice, and like, I think the real genius here is the marketer for the Raptors, who decided, let's team up with Drake because he put Toronto on the map, and let's take advantage of Game of Thrones, and we're gonna do We the North.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So kudos to you, marketer. You are a genius, and if we ever figure out your name, but if you're like a true marketer, you want to remain, secretive.
Yeah. Well, it's a team of people, so.
Kudos to the team.
Yeah.
You guys are awesome. All right. Till next week. Surprisingly, I felt this was more like hard hitting. I wouldn't say negative, but like more truth driven. Very salty, this one. As opposed to our last one. Our last one that didn't get captured was very like optimistic. And I was like, oh man, that was such a good one. How are we going to get that back? But I feel like this
turned out a different way.
It turned in a different direction, but I feel like this one was better because
yeah.
I figured out something marketing wise on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
See, like, all right, we're gonna end it now, sure, but I just want to say that it's like interesting because like that was a genuine realization,
right,
on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I thought of it, I was like, oh, that's actually what's going on. But it's like, because then now I'm just gonna like tell somebody that, and they're gonna be like, wow, how did you think of that? I'm like, because I just thought of it. You know what I mean? Like people just don't think now. It's like, what are you spending your like days doing?
Right.
You know, we're over here like deconstructing things on the podcast, whereas like other people are like watching something on Netflix.
I mean, I do that too.
You do that too, but I'm obsessively obsessed with learning things. So.
I mean, it's a short life. I want to be entertained.
Or do studies entertain me?
Maybe. So. We're doing the same.
It's the pursuit of truth. That's what I like. That's why it's like,
okay.
like, I want to die with high blood pressure.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy. Till next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.